Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room and the crab part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say is so positive because he cries in the shower on Saturday nights. All I know is I call him Stan.
Hey, who needs Grand Arena when you have the Grand Cantina?
Oh, man. Stan's nightly or weekly routine of crying in the shower because of the Grand Arena.
It is, yes. We are now recording from the Sprint Panic Arena. We have had to upgrade from just a lowly room to shelter all the folk running from the salt avalanche going on right now.
Yeah, we'll have to go through it, throw out some meat secure. We'll have a lot of jerky here in a couple months, couple weeks or something like that, you know. We'll make the best of it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That'd be right. So, that was a crazy week in Galaxy of Heroes, but before we get there, let's get into how has your week been?
My week has been full of ups and downs. Let me start with the ups. I have been in the process of remodeling my office / studio / schoolrooms / everything forever now, and I probably have a little bit of an echo tonight because I took the rug out, so it's bare floor. So sorry if I'm a little reverby, but anyway, doing that, I got everything hung up, looks good, minimal disaster. I did drop my Clone Wars frame as I was trying to hang it up, and it scuffed up a corner and scratched it some, so I had to crawl a little bit on that. But that wasn't the worst thing that happened to me. This can only be known as the disaster. So, as you know, I've got a ton of cats, and we were fostering a cat. It has moved on to its forever home. But anytime you have cats and their environment changes, they go crazy. So what started as just a little pissing contest with the addition of the new cat turned into the full-blown 2019 Summer Piss Olympic Games, and it has been horrible.
Now Stan, the big question is, do you plan to win this extravaganza here?
There's no winning. No, we all lose. So, but one rug in particular got it the worst, which was a shame because it was a real pretty rug. I liked it a lot. It really held the room together, and the cat just pissed all over it, like he's been watching that movie. Anyway, so this rug was just getting it. So I had a carpet shampooer on standby right next to it. So as soon as I noticed the spot, I'd hit it up real quick, just try to salvage it the best I could. So this went on for about a week, and I'm cleaning the house. My girlfriend went out of town for the weekend, so I thought I would do a nice thing. Get my office cleaned up, get the house cleaned up, get it nice and looking for her. So I'm walking through the house, and I noticed this carpet shampooer sitting there still with a week's worth of dirty piss water in the bottom. Like, well, this cannot stand. So let me take care of this. So I roll it to the living room, and I noticed another little spot on our rug in the living room, and I still had some cleaner left. So let me go ahead and finish that up too. So shampoo that part, get it ready to go, and I'm watching TV, and I don't know what came over me, but I just was not paying attention. I went down to unhook the dirty water bucket, and I unhooked the latches that hold the lid on, thinking that was going to disconnect it from the thing. So I disconnect those, and I pull the container out and poured about a gallon of week-old piss water all over myself, all over the floor, all over the rug. It spread across the floor, under furniture. It was the worst thing that has ever happened to anybody in the history of the universe.
So you're saying you did this and was
I made noises similar to that. Yes. Looked down, looked at myself, looked at the floor, started going through my options. For a long time, the leading option was just burn it all down, just go throw myself in a dumpster, set the house on fire, and just call it a life. Because there's really no coming back from that.
so what you're saying your contemplation was burning the house down, sitting out in the yard with a bottle of whiskey and just watching it all burn.
Yes, yeah, that was the only viable solution at that point. But I got it cleaned up and got into the shower for about 4 hours. Still here, house is still here, so we lots of candles burning, lots of mopping. But it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Oh, man. That's gonna make up for a long couple weeks after that.
Yeah. A couple other things. Let's see. Cleaning out my office. I gotta know. Do you have the 20-year-old box of old ass wires that you've just accumulated over the years?
I do. I do have a random thing of wires but I did hear your conversation going through. I systematically go back through, and as the wires get outdated, I don't have anything in my house that uses it or anything anybody should be using anymore. I ditch them.
I just can't. My brain is like 2 synapse connections away from being a hoarder. Like I'm looking at this stuff like, well, I might need this firewire cable one day. Let me roll it back up, twist tight, and put it back in the box.
I had old Apple iPhone 40-pin dock connectors, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, out, trash. No one should be using this anymore.
I've got one in the drawer right next to me right now. Like maybe I'm going to use my iPad 2 again one day. Who knows? No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. And if I want to do that and the wire's not there, I'm just going to go through. Yep, I guess it wasn't meant to be, and continue on.
And at the off chance that I ever need one of these things again, I can just go on eBay and buy one for like $1.
Yeah. The most I keep is HDMI cables, Ethernet cables, the 3.5 mil power adapter jacks, because I've had those go bad before, and they've been pretty consistent through the years. But majority of them I ditch after so many years, or when I finally go into that pile and realize, why the hell do I have this?
Yeah, maybe one day when the next piss disaster, I'll just burn the cables with the house and everything else in it. On a more positive note, I got to get away from this topic.
He's getting fired up.
I'm getting pissed off. Or something. No. Yeah, hey, y'all wanted more sound effects, so we are accommodating. Yes. Speaking of video games, I tried out the Xbox Game Pass. I ended up with a free month of that. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Have you seen this service?
I have. My brother, I don't know if he still has it or got it when it first came out, and he enjoyed it. I know that much, but he's on there all the time.
You can get an intro rate for $1 or something a month, and afterwards it's $10 a month. But you get like the newest Tomb Raiders on there, newest Forza, a lot of just different games. I played What Remains of Edith Finch. It's a little older game. Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
It came out kind of with those Gone Home type games. It's basically a walking simulator. You're walking around looking at this house and unraveling a mystery.
So it's about Silent Hill?
No, it's not even. There's not a whole lot of gameplay to it, really. You're just walking and clicking on things and kind of playing through the story. Basically, it's this family that believes that they're cursed, and all of the family members meet these untimely ends. And as you uncover what happens to them, you play through kind of their final moments, and it's it's interesting. It kind of stuck with me. I didn't expect it to, but it was pretty good. So if you got a couple free hours, and I'm sure you can get this on Steam for real cheap too, and you haven't played through it, check it out. It's a nice change of pace from Star Wars and first person shooters and everything else.
Yeah, I'll have to go through and maybe see about that. Get off
Yeah.
my. I've not been very optimistic on anything that I've been watching. Still watching Chernobyl. That is very good, and all the reviews, I haven't heard anything negative about it. And
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good too. I may need to check that out before I cancel HBO Go.
yeah, that's the only reason I still have it, is because I went through and Chernobyl's been on there and really enjoying that series so far, and trying to get through Westworld, the second season here. Also,
I'm trying as well. What do you think of it?
it's a very interesting concept, and I do like the overall story. It's one of those shows that the way the plot is going through, when it's jumping back and forth like that.
Yeah,
It takes me a little bit to actually get more invested into it and actually figure out what's going on in both storylines.
I feel like they're trying way too hard to piecemeal information out. Like they're taking the way long route just to give you a little nugget.
You mean exactly the opposite of Game of Thrones.
Right?
They
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
just threw it at you and go, obviously you should have got that a long time ago.
Yeah. This one, I don't know. I'm not enjoying it as much as season one. I just got to the part where they, I guess, get to the other world, for lack. Spoiler there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I'm that far. I'm only 4 or 5 episodes in the second season, so you're probably
Okay.
further along than I am.
Not by much, if I am.
Okay.
Let's see. So yeah, that.
And then kind of a follow-up on what we were talking about last week, because it kind of blew up in the news, was StarLink. They went through about how you were concerned about actually going through and viewing stars, and what the impact of the night sky was. And everybody seems to be... Did you see the video clip of 60 of them just going
Yes.
down?
Yeah, we weren't quite sure if they're going to be visible to the naked eye. They were absolutely visible to the naked eye.
And I did go back there and confirm. So they are in low Earth orbit, or at least the majority of them will be, and they'll have a couple different orbits around the Earth that they're going to be in. And basically, they said their final orbit around the Earth, it's going to be no brighter than the International Space Station. And even then, Elon Musk was going through and tweeting and saying they can actually adjust the orientation of the satellites themselves. So say there's an actual astrological event going on in which people are wanting to view and everything, they can even go through and actually orientate the satellites even more to try to eliminate the reflection, and actually so no one would be able to see it.
Yeah, well, they can eliminate some, but well, first off, the International Space Station is bright as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that thing is super bright.
Yep.
And even the smallest little streak, like if you're trying to do long exposure photography, it's going to ruin that frame. Mm-hmm. And there's also concern from radio astronomers with all of the additional signal out in space that's going to interfere with a lot of the radio signals they're looking at. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
Yeah, considering it is up over 3,000 satellites is what they're aiming to put up into orbit. And maybe this is just a big ploy with SpaceX requiring all these, instead of having these land-based radio telescopes and actually telescopes in general on Earth, wanting people to go through and actually put more satellites up into space, more telescopes, more radio telescopes and everything up in space to go through and kind of force people's hands.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Either that, or they're going to put a big telescope and just run out usage time.
Well, this is also assuming that humanity makes it that far. Did you see the latest Rambo trailer?
No, I have not.
I think we're at a dead end. I think humanity has reached peak creativity, and we're done. Would you like to hear about the Rambo trailer.
Oh, please enlighten me.
Okay, you got old John Rambo. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's an elderly fellow now. He is
I've heard rumors of him. I've heard the
yeah
myth.
he has killed a metric buttload of people over the course of his career, and now he just wants to sit on his rocking chair and just enjoy his farm. Well, people aren't going to let that happen, so he has got to murder a whole bunch more people before he can finally, I guess, die or whatever. This is last blood. So he's on his ranch. He is just waiting for the bad guys to come so he can blow them up in spectacular fashion. Now, as is the style these days, you have to have a slowed down, melancholy version of a song for your trailer. Do you know what song they picked for Rambo Last Blood? It has been slowed down.
I can't even venture a guess.
Old Town Road.
Oh man, of course. I mean, they need another music video for Old Town Road.
We were talking in chat, and I was going to actually try to do a parody of Old Town Road. I had this idea of the old hard node. You're going to take my thumb to the old hard node, going to farm till I can't farm no more, and it was going to be good. But after seeing that the world has reached max Old Town Road, I cannot add to it. We're done.
The world has hit peak creativity.
That's it. Yeah, we can't go any further.
So, speaking of your old hard nodes, how have you been farming those old hard nodes?
Pretty good. Got us. Well, let's see. Yeah, I finished all of them. I'm a retired farmer. I finished. I finished Ebon Hawk. I have nothing left to farm, which makes our ticket counter very angry at me because I forget to buy the extra refresh and get my tickets in. So sorry.
Yeah, he forgets to go through and farm those stun guns. He's like, there's nothing to farm. And I'm like, there's stun guns. There's always stun guns to farm.
Yeah, I just never buy that extra refresh for the energy. I need to. But I finished that up. I've got B1 to 7-star Gear 12. I put the second Zeta on Padme. I put the Zeta on Ahsoka and got her up to Gear 12. So the Galactic Republic team is about ready to go.
Yeah, nice. And I went up against a Padme team here in Grand Arena. And let me tell you, you add a little speed to them, and they're not fun to get around. Not at all.
It's a good team.
I even tried with the actual Palpatine listed as counter, and I got nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
I had to do mirror match. I was actually out geared and out Zeta'd on my Padme matchup, but was able to get around the bad AI. So that's my go-to for now. Is mirror match.
Yeah, I had went up against one that had a Zeta Bastila. Or not Zeta Bastila, sorry, Zeta Barris on the team.
Oof.
Yeah, so all the Zetas were on everybody. It was just a pain. I was like, oh, let me try this Palpatine team. Stun them, fracture them with Thrawn, and just kind of go through the team. Got nothing. Got no debuffs on the team. I was like, this ain't going well. I was like, well, let me just do Jedi Knight Revan and clean up. I was like, yep, nope, that didn't happen. I was like, well, this Grand Arena has gone downhill quickly.
Yeah, I'm thinking Dooku and Newt with the Geos, and we'll probably get somebody soon that will be a harder counter. But we'll talk more about the meta changes a little bit later.
Yeah, and yeah, I got nothing. I did nothing this week. Absolutely nothing. In a stupid place for gear with Jordica and with my shards farms. I'm just kind of plugging away, trying to get them finished up as quick as possible. But not gonna waste a stupid amount of crystals when we're having such a lull in the game to speed up farms when I don't need to. I much rather hoard a little bit more extra crystals. That way we can figure out what actually needs to be farmed, and I can invest those crystals in the correct spot rather than just trying to say, well, I got everything done now and sped everything up.
Yeah, there's a lot coming all at once. We don't have the final details on it yet, but we know that there's going to be some farming required. So yeah, if you can, try to save a little bit right now.
Yeah, and before we get into the Star Wars news, I see you have listed as some new Patreons.
We do. We have 2 new patrons.
All right.
R3S6 was innocent, and Brian V, which I think I know who you are, but shoot me a message just to be sure. Have you confirmed this one?
I did not confirm this one.
Okay. So anyway, both of you guys, thank you so much. For our patrons, since I have finished my room, I have got all my crap hung up on the wall, I have an extra Mandalorian poster I got from Star Wars Celebration, which I will be doing a drawing for our patrons. So I will put some details in the Not Panic room on Discord on how the drawing is going to be done, but it's going to be for current patrons. So this is a way to thank you guys.
Yeah, and if you aren't in the Discord and everything, hit us up. That way we can get you in the room.
Yes, faux show.
All right. So let's get into the Star Wars news, which really is only one thing, and one thing only.
Right. Galaxy Edge opened up Disneyland.
They're out in California. And, it looks absolutely amazing. Pricey. Man.
Very pricey. Yeah. I wasn't going to watch any of this stuff, but I could not help myself. I watched everything I could on it. It's just, it's funny to me too. Like some of the news outlets that sent their not Star Wars fan.
Yeah. No idea what's going on. No idea. The Easter eggs. What is this Hondo? Why is there a Honda sitting up there directing me into the mission?
That's all. All right, so I'm building a lightsaber, and I get to pick my own diamond to put in it. Ugh.
Yeah, some of the stuff was bad, but overall, I mean, Disney's attention to detail with theme parks, their lightsaber, I forget what they called it. It was kind of like a junkyard. It reminds me of like Watto's junkyard. On going through and actually the backstory of why they have all these lightsaber parts. Going through, taking small groups in, and having basically craft your own lightsaber by picking pieces out, picking your own kyber crystal, picking out your hilt handle material, picking out your own lens, and just basically creating exactly. It reminded me of one of the Clone Wars episodes where you have all the young the younglings actually crafting, getting their kyber crystals and then sitting in the ship and actually crafting the lightsabers. Reminds me of doing that, and everybody's trying to figure out what feels best to them. The Wookiee has the actual wood lightsaber, which is really cool. I really enjoy Disney's attention to detail and creating a story for a store. And same way with their droid shop. I think you can customize the droids also.
You can. You can pick the legs, the head, the personality, the body shape. Those look a little more janky than the lightsabers, but I guess they're going to sell a lot more of those to kids. So you're not going to build a movie level droid out of that thing.
And you can go up in price to get those droids. The ones you're seeing that are janky are the news anchors. Hey, you have so much money to go through and test these out, not buy the $1,000 droid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the lightsabers, kind of going back to that for a minute. Did you watch the full presentation, like the guy giving the speech and everything?
No, I did not.
They build a backstory in, like, I guess spoilers for a theme park if you don't want to know about it. But like the story behind it is this is a underground shop. They're hiding from the First Order, so you got to sneak in. They got to verify who you are, and then they take you to the back room, and you're building lightsabers for the Resistance. And so he's going through and he's talking about all the different lightsabers. Like he can pick green, held by Qui-Gon Jinn and Luke Skywalker, and then you can pick blue, which is held by a new Jedi. Does anybody know who she is? And like, it's Rey. He's like, yes, Rey, our spark of hope. And like they mention Ahsoka a lot, and like just really kind of lean into a lot of the Jedi out there, and they got Yoda's voice in the background. It is really cool presentation. I don't know if I want to spend $200 for one, but if you are, I think you're getting your money's worth out of it. They are quality lightsaber.
I mean, they're quality lightsaber, and if you actually go through on a lot of the higher quality saber sites, even ultra sabers and everything are going to be that price also. So it's really not out of the realm as outrageously priced for a lightsaber, especially that quality from what I've read.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm going to save up my nickels and dimes and hopefully go maybe next year.
Yeah, you can just go down to Disney World. That opens up here at the end of the summer.
Yeah, in August.
Yeah, I think that one's actually going to be bigger also. Has a bigger
and
footprint.
The other ride hasn't opened yet. The whatever one you go into the first order thing and get captured and fight back.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought they were both open.
No, just the Millennium Falcon ride right now.
Gotcha. So, other than that, and ships and everything, we have a new login character or ship, I guess?
Yeah.
Ship. We're having another ship. Last time we had a ship, we had the Houndstooth come into the game with the Slave 1 being the login character. So that kind of signals to me we're going to get some ship content.
I think so, though. We've been speculating on it for a while. They've come out and said that the outlook for new capital ships is doubly good. So we'll kind of go into what that means.
I'm guessing 2 there.
Possibly, yeah. It would make sense. Kind of looking at the calendar, it looks a little lighter than we're used to. There are some spaces. The 11th on looks kind of light. The 13th particularly, 17th and 18th look pretty light. The 21st. There's plenty of room on there for a new event if they want to throw it out there.
Yeah, definitely sounds like they're going to be doing that. They've hinted towards some ships also. Not just capital ships, so a lot of things up in the air there.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. This week we're starting a territory war. It's going to be just the vanilla. It's back to back, so we'll have it ending on the 6th, starting on the 7th. On the 6th, we've got Contact Protocol coming back. So if you still need C-3PO, there you go.
Hey, good character.
Great character. Definitely worth getting.
Yeah, and if you're speculating as far as CLS, any other Luke Skywalker, I would imagine having C-3PO is a very good idea.
Yeah, if you ever really good on the Padme team too. So he's got plenty of spots.
Good on a Padme team, good on a JTR team, good on a CLS team. Just, yeah, good overall.
He's highly recommended. If you're running short on credits, looks like our next credit heist is on the 6th, and this is all courtesy of SWGO8events.com.
All right. Now, we actually had some news also this week, which was, so very surprising.
Yeah, shocking almost.
So the first one we did get was CG announced that on June 22nd they're doing a charity event on Twitch with Extra Life for the Children's Miracle Network. They're basically going to, if I read this correctly, stream for 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I think it might be 12.
12 hours of them just playing miscellaneous games. They didn't really say what games were all involved, but they're going to be playing games to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network and asking the community itself to actually go through and join them to help raise money. Then
and you can go donate on extralife.com or extralife.org, and Do you think? So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Then they also went through, like we said last week, they opened up a Q&A and they started answering questions and going through everything. And it was, man, they were there. They answered a lot of questions. Some they actually answered. Some they gave their generic, we don't comment about current characters or possible characters coming into the game. A lot of the answers were, we would like to, but it would require a lot of work and it's not the best, essentially, return on investment. It would cost too much time and investment in order to make that item happen, said item happen within the game, and we aren't going to get our money's worth out of it. Which I understand, which is exactly what we talk about on this podcast all the time. Why am I going to farm this character? Am I going to get the return on investment for that character? And apparently they look at that just as much, because that was a lot of their answers. They're like, we would like to, but it really would take way too much time for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think overall the Q&A had some good information in it. A lot of tidbits I was kind of surprised they let out there.
Yeah, but before we get into those specific points, let's go into real quick here, because they kind of coexist here with some of the questions. They announced another character right before we started podcasting here. They announced that we are getting Shaak Ti into the game.
Yes.
Which is one of the characters that we have asking for. I don't know which way to put that. We've definitely gone through, mentioned Shaak Ti as a possible character to join into the game and be put into the game. Also mentioned he would be a very good clone leader.
Yeah, well, she,
sorry. Oh,
yeah.
Man, what am I thinking?
I don't know. But yeah, good choice. Definitely appreciate the clone synergy. We're not going to do a deep dive in her kit just yet, but it's really supercharging the clones. Mass call to assists, turn meters, going to amp up the damage. A lot of things are lacking. She's going to bring to the table. There's some interesting kind of things we noticed about the announcement.
Yeah, so actually, let's do the first one that you noticed with the light side TV. What do you think that's happening with that?
Well, they haven't confirmed how she's going to be released yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be marquee. We haven't had one in a while. We're due for one, and the timing would really work out, assuming that we get a dark side territory battle map in the next couple of weeks, and it runs for about a month or so before we transition to the light side. If we get our marquee into this week or next week, that would put her going free to play a few weeks before light side Geonosian territory battle. And I would be willing to bet that she's going to be needed at 5-star up for a special mission. Or clones,
yeah.
Clones will probably be needed. That event has been described as very hard, and I would be guessing this is going to be almost impossible without farming her and putting her in a clones team.
And here is also our other reasoning behind this. So, Darkside Geo Territory Battle Map is supposed to be coming out here by the end of the quarter, which is this month. And Droideka, B1, General Grievous rework all happened about the same time frame, rolling into this Darkside TV. Now we're getting Shaak Ti going into the light side Geo, which timing would actually put it August-September range, which would be the end of next quarter.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we make another marquee on top of this, maybe Coyote Mundi.
Yeah, I'm expecting a few more actually light side Clone Wars characters now to go for that as far as marquee characters go, and then we'll be getting some more dark side Clone Wars characters along with this new territory battle map.
Right, yeah, I think it'll be on the map. Another thing we noticed was looking at the synergy, they didn't list Clone Sergeant on their little graphic that they always do, which is kind of surprising because that's your main damage dealer for a clone team.
Yeah, and having Rex in there really didn't make sense to me because he really doesn't do damage, even with all of Shaak Ti's bonuses for clones, the attacks out of order, everything like that. Rex really doesn't fit in there because if you're calling that many assists, you want that bigger damage dealer, which I would think would be Clone Sergeant, which led us to going back and forth and talking about, does that signal a rework slash retune for Clone Sergeant and they don't want to go through because they're changing the portrait and everything for Clone Sergeant and didn't want to go through and tip their hand to that?
Possibly. Yeah, there's that, and then there's obviously going to be new clones with the new season. If we don't get Bad Batch, I will be shocked. So I'm sure they're planning for that. I don't think we're going to get a full rework of clones now. I thought maybe we would, but I think giving them these new pieces for the toolbox is going to be enough.
Yeah, I wrote that down also. I think we are both wrong about the clones getting a rework, and the method they went with is reminded me of Bastila when she first came out with the Jedi. You went through and just her synergy and leadership ability and unique ability let the Jedi all of a sudden become a meta team just because of that.
Right,
And
and the clones kit is good. I mean, it's very interesting. They kind of got left behind. They're not hitting it hard enough to keep up with the Joneses, and now they will be.
That, and they were squishy.
Yeah.
They went through, weren't hitting hard enough, and they didn't have enough health and protection. And Shaak Ti's kit, reading it in theory, should go through and correct that, which would make them a viable team once again.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they're going to be arena, but they'll definitely have a place.
Well, obviously not arena because CG mentioned arena is not what they're going after. They want an overall harmonistic meta that uses both territory wars, grand arena, territory battles, all as one in one single harmony.
Yeah, we'll guess we can go ahead and get into that. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Shaak Ti?
No, I don't think so. I think the last point was them going through. I think they are going to be very good. I think they're going to be more of a offense slash defensive team in territory wars and grand arena, judging by that. But one or two more clones could completely change that faction to bump them up even higher on that list.
Yeah, and I do got to say I do like the developer insights. You talk about how they were inspired for the character. They pulled a lot from the Clone Wars TV show where she dealt specifically with the clones. So it's some good interaction there.
Yeah. So
animation looks good, model looks good. No complaints so far.
The model and the animations are absolutely amazing. Those look so smooth and definitely makes the clones look out of place when her character model is in the actual team. I'm like watching this and I'm like, the clones look really, really bad right now.
Yeah, like, they could use some love on their character models a little bit.
Exactly. But, I mean, speaking of other things we are wrong about here.
Happens so rarely. We take note of it.
I mean, we somewhat wrong. Our idea and methodology of implementing this change. So we went through and mentioned that we felt that we haven't had a level cap increase up to 90 would be happening soon because of a rebalance that was needed for both arena, grand arena, territory wars, just trying to balance out the characters a little bit, put them on a more level playing field with that last 5 levels. That was our reasoning for it, and CG went a different way. So, they went through and said, with the new Geo Territory Battle map, we will be getting Gear 12 finishing pieces. So that means we will be able to get that last piece. They did say we will be able to hit that upgrade button to Gear 13. Carrie went through and was
shiny new border.
Well, yeah, a brand new border. Carrie's very excited about this border. I have no idea what it's actually going to look like. Is it going to go through, be different bars? What color it's going to be? No idea. There will be no pieces to fill in Gear 13, though. It's just a finishing piece. That's it.
Yeah.
You may be wondering how that actually implements that rebalance we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not surprising, and the community reacted very negatively to this news. And to me, I was just kind of like, well, obviously, yeah, we're getting Gear 13. Of course, we are. We're going to get Gear 14, Gear 15. We're going to get level 100. All this stuff's going to happen. I don't know why it caught anybody by surprise. But that's just me.
Yeah. Let's see. So I understand why the community was like that, and I think it's only because of one reason, and one reason only. The Gear 12 Plus is so painful to get. You can't...
Well, yeah, and Gear 12 was painful to get. When Gear 12 Plus came out, those pieces became easier to get. When this finisher comes out, the Gear 12 Plus will be easier to get. It's... it's the circle of life.
Yeah, they jump the gun a little bit and everything. As long as the Gear 12 Plus pieces become more readily available, I don't think anybody's really going to have a huge issue with that. If they stay gated within the Sith raid, yeah, it's going to be very painful, because then we're back to the Rancor raid gear crunch, in which no one's getting droid collars or Nubian scanners because they're waiting for that random drop out of the Rancor, because that's exactly what I'm waiting for to finish out my Darkside Bastila. I need one piece to get that Gear 12 Plus piece finished. It's not, it's 25 pieces of like a data pad or something. I can't even I don't even remember how long I've had her actually at Gear 12. It's been at least a month, and I'm still waiting for that one piece to drop, and I've been top 20 in pretty much all the Sith raids.
Yeah. I mean, well, the bright side on it is, we're getting it from GOTB. It'll probably be in the store, maybe a special mission reward or a star reward that the whole guild gets. The community is not going to get these things very quickly, so you're not going to be going up against full Gear 13 teams right away. So that's a plus.
Yeah, you hope not.
Well, I hope not. I don't see that happening, but so we have that. There's still nothing in the game that you're not going to be able to beat that Gear 12. With the exception of probably this new Darkside Geo Territory battle. I'm sure to max that out, we're going to need some G13 teams, but that's okay. If we were able to max this thing out day one, there's nothing to strive for. There's nothing to build for. It's just another mode to farm instead of a game, and I kind of want to play the game some more. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. I mean, I'm still just surprised how negative the community was to this.
Yeah,
we got good information. It was, to me, more of a Rosetta Stone on how to interpret other choices in the game. They're not able to answer everything, and I don't think anybody should expect just black and white answers, because just the way their communication works. Everything has to go through multiple levels of approval before it goes out. Through Lucas, through EA, through Disney. I mean, we mentioned it before. It's a publicly held company. You can't promise things that you can't deliver. I mean, that it impacts stock price, it impacts speculation. That's against the law in some cases, depending on what you say. So you have to be very careful of what gets out there. So I do commend them for even doing the Q&A. They are less petty than I am. If I saw some of the reactions to some of these answers, I would never communicate again, but that's why I'm not in public relations.
There'd be houses on fire.
That's
for sure.
right.
But yeah, that's the only reason I could think. I mean, also, people in the community they like finishing things, and they always expect, oh, I'm at that goalpost, and this game isn't about getting to that goalpost. It's getting close enough and being able to compete, and then getting ready for that goalpost to move. That goalpost is always going to be moving in this game, and that's the main thing to keep in mind, I should say.
Yeah, but it's a treadmill, not a race.
Yep.
I've said it 1,000 times before. We'll say it 1,000 times again.
And so some of the people may not realize why this is such a big deal. I know even our territory war general, I went through and mentioned this, and he's like, what do you mean? Why is this such a big deal? Are you saying that piece is going to be that overpowered to balance out characters? I was like, no. What makes this significant is when we talk about mods, and especially mods that are based on percent health, percent speed, it always goes through and looks at a character's base speed. And the way it calculates out is not the current speed of a character. It takes the number from the last completed gear level. So everything in Gear 12 that you put on, including the Gear 12 Plus pieces, so pretty much every character is getting 12 speed. So add on 1.2 speed to whatever that's your speed sets. Some of them have another 3 in there for the Gear 12 Plus, so you're looking at 1.5 speed added on. Look at General Grievous's health. Oh, that percentage is... I mean, the 2 Gear 12 Plus pieces are, 6,000? Then you have 2 more 3,000 pieces. You're stacking up, close to 12,000 health over that? Just with General Grievous itself, and then you go through and add all your percent-based health mods, and if you have them modded correctly, the triangle, arrow, cross, and circle are all, 16% health mods? So you're going to be having General Grievous with the possibility of a well-modded General Grievous being close to 100k health.
I like it.
People struggle with him right now when he's modded at, CG showed General Grievous modded at 60k health, 62k health. I have my General Grievous modded at 67k health right now. I've seen General Grievous up at 70 to 72k health, and he hits like a truck with that health.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't even imagine when he's up over 100k. So this is what my thought is. Any character that has percent health, percent protection mods, they're going to see a very drastic bump up. So Padme teams also, basically all your speed mods, you're going to get an additional probably 2 speed at the very least, and every little bit of speed helps. This is going to help a lot of characters out when you go through and complete this out to actually make them tankier enough to survive.
Yeah, definitely. My only, I guess, concern with the new Gear 12 pieces is...
Zeta Barris teams?
What's that?
Zeta Barris teams?
No, not just the teams, but just the actual pieces themselves. I got a sneaking suspicion those last 2 gear pieces they added, that you basically have to buy because their drop rate's horrible. I bet they're going to be part of those those pieces.
Oh, ouch. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to going back through all my Gear 12 characters that I may or may not have that many Gear 12 pieces on them. So my Territory War and Grand Arena teams are going to have to go back almost to the drawing board to get them to Gear 13. So it's going to be a lag. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like we have to consider the meta outside of Squad Arena.
Yeah, which they did mention that. Where did you put that?
It's down. We're just going to talk about it. I think that was kind of the biggest overall takeaway. Gear 13 is coming, but also they explained a lot about why certain decisions are made and why the meta is it as is it. That sentence sucked. Why the meta is the way it is.
Is the way it is, and why they don't go through and adjust it as much or put so much focus on having 2 to 3 really balanced teams.
Right. First off, they kind of their design philosophy is, you have your beginning players, your middle players, and your end game players, and they really want kind of structure and striation among those. If you're a beginning player, you're not expected to get Revan. You're not expected to get Padme. You're still working on Yoda. You're still working on Emperor Palpatine. That's where you're at in the game. That's where they expect you to be, and they want your gear to drop there. Then you move to middle game where you're starting to expand your roster. Then you're going to start doing more of the legendary events kind of as you choose, and then your end game, you're focusing on your Maliks and your Padmes and your tip of the spear characters, as she calls them, and they're not really meant to overlap that much. So when you kind of cater toward beginner game players, and you kind of piss off the end game players, which I don't have the data for this, but I would assume that's where a lot of your money is still being spent. Those that have invested 3 or 4 years of life to this game. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's another thing they mentioned. They do a lot of stuff based on data, and despite the negative Reddit and YouTube, all that, their health metrics for the game, how much people are playing, how much they're spending, how much time they're spending in the game, are actually healthy or improving. So, that's the information they have to go off of and have to make decisions.
Well, I thought they did mention that their data does have their health metrics are down a little bit year over year, but they said they were expecting that because of the lull within the Star Wars universe and what's going on in general, and they're expecting that to ramp back up when it comes here towards the end of the year when the new movie starts trailers and gets hype and everything for the new movie comes out.
Yeah, they are planning a lot of onboarding features and new player introductions for that. But kind of going back to the meta real quick, they recognize that the squad arena meta is very limiting for them. They've kind of painted themselves into a corner because that's where the majority of the payout is. They mentioned something like $300,000 worth of crystals a day are paid out in squad arena. And that's not pocket change that they can just adjust willy-nilly. They are very unlikely to get that much to spread out in other modes. So I don't think we're going to see that much crystal payout daily in Ship Arena or any other sort of new mode. So we can't count on that. If they cut crystal payouts in Squad Arena to try to encourage other areas of the game, there'd be blood in the street rioting. So people are really focused on that because of the reward system. Then that leads into power creep. If you're wanting to sell a new character or make it seem valuable, everybody looks at it in the context of Squad Arena. And, so if you have a character that's good in Territory Wars or good on Territory Battle Map, people don't seem to care as much. They want somebody that's going to come out and dominate the Squad Arena meta. And in order to do that, that's where power creep comes in. They have to constantly make characters more powerful, and that's a dead end too. So it's a tough balance, and I'm happy they kind of explained that in better terms than I really could. But it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And how they're going through trying to create a balance of team that works all together within a Grand Arena and Territory War environment, and that's why they really aren't focused as much on Grand Arena and trying to go through and flesh that out perfectly.
And you've got your in-game players that work really hard or spend a lot to get Malik. They want that benefit. If you come out with a counter to that right away, good luck trying to get somebody to spend or invest in the next new character that they know is going to be nerfed almost immediately.
Exactly.
So you have to create some of that artificial value there to get people to, give you your money. But they mentioned they want to expand the meta, make more teams useful in other parts of the game. Grand Arena, the Grand Arena Championship, Territory Wars is a great start of that, and they want to put more focus on that. So if you do get a Padme, you do get your clones built up, you're happy to use them. You're glad you have them because you can kick ass in Territory War or the Territory Battles or wherever. And there's a lot of value to that too, and I think that rewards collectors, and I think that does get ignored quite a bit.
Well, that, and speaking of way they've actually gone through and looked at things and both data and trying to go through and reward people, and actually even a onboarding system, was they actually did mention that they've been looking at a system for the guilds, almost having, they were calling a newer player system, and the actually community came out with Padawan system for a guild in which you're actually able to onboard lower end players within the guild and actually bring them up within the guild, which I'm assuming they're going through and seeing the data in which these larger guilds, and I mean so much larger guilds, higher GP guilds are having a lot of influx of rosters going in and out all the time. A lot of them are dropping off, and they're needing a way to actually reward guilds actually by bringing up lesser GP players into the guild.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Our guild, I'm sure a lot of others are too at the higher end, are experiencing a little more churn than usual. A lot of people are burning out. A lot of people are taking advantage of this lull in the game to just take a break, and we're having to backfill and bring players up from our lower guilds. And if you're in a 20 guild alliance, that's great, but some of these standalone guilds don't have that structure, and it's definitely not built into the game. So having a feeder guild that you can help out, maybe donate gear to, whatever, helps build that pipeline for newer players as you need to replace.
That, and I think it also works into the system of your best advertising and your best feature for the game is the players itself. If you want newer players, you need the players to try to get their friends and family and people they know into the game. And currently there's no way for you to actually, other than basically, hey, you should really farm this, hey, you should do that. There's no way to actually interact with that person within the game itself. Now, if they go through and do implement this, hey, you have your friends start the game, start playing, you can actually bring them onto the guild because there's a spot for those lower end, lower level players and newer players within the game into a bigger guild, or older guild, I should say.
Because, I mean, looking at our guild, we've got 50 players. We're kind of gearing up for Geo territory battles, and we're not going to bring in Cousin Joe with 300 galactic power, because he's going to take away a slot for a good player. Sorry, Cousin Joe.
Well, not even a good player, just a bigger roster.
Right,
it's
yeah.
Territory battles. Let's be serious about this.
You'll get there, Cousin Joe. Don't worry about it.
What are you talking?
Yeah, having
Cousin
a way
Joe
that
can get there in a couple weeks if he spends enough.
Right. Well, I don't know, Cousin Joe. He ain't got it like that. But anyway, yeah, having a way that we can bring people in like that, interact with them, give them some guidance, and not throw them to the wolves. Yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward to it. They said that they are looking at player onboarding. The quest system didn't quite work out how they wanted to. I think people progressed through the quest a little faster than they anticipated and kind of got used to all those great rewards, and then hit a complete roadblock where they weren't getting anything anymore.
I think the way they phrased it was they had to scale everything back because they ended up, the newer players hit a wall, and as soon as they got through all the quests and got through all that gear and everything that they got, is the progression slowed to a crawl,
right.
and then
right.
people would just drop off because of that. And I can
Yeah,
understand
they got used to that sweet gear, and then you take it away, and they're like, oh man.
Yeah. They're like, man, this is what everybody's been talking about. I'm out.
Now, one question somebody brought up in the chat was, and I think I may have mentioned this a while back, but having the ability to increase the drop rate of shards for newer players. And they said no, they can't do that because they can't have anything impacting the drop rate, which in hindsight, that's good because that is a slippery slope. You know, even if right now they're using those tools to help out newer players and manipulating drop rates in a positive direction, you know, there's always that temptation there. Hey, this person here is a level A profile spender. We know he is more likely to spend money. Let's lower his drop rates just a little bit to encourage him to buy some packs out of the store.
Yeah.
So nothing needs to touch drop rates. Random needs to be random.
The only thing would agree with that part. I kind of disagree with the way she phrased this because I understand. Let's take, for example, the hard node. They did go through and mention the hard node dropping to 5 over 8 and why that is also. And essentially, it came down to currently there's not enough going into the game to justify having 8 attempts for the hard node for the end game players. And I completely agree. For what we're going through, the 8 would just allow me to basically finish out everything. Not a problem, finish out everything. And I can understand them dropping that down to 5. I disagree with that reasoning for newer players. Because this time should be for them to actually get caught up within the game, and they need those 8 energy hard nodes still to be able to do that. Because if you drop it down to 5, everybody else in the game had those 8 energy or 8 attempts per hard node to finish out these single hard node characters in order to get a Jedi Knight Revan, a Darth Revan, Malik, even JTR, CLS. And now they don't have that. So you're just saying, well, the newer players, it's just going to take you longer to be able to get those tip of the spear characters, which I don't think is right. I don't know how you go through and fix that because it's a little bit harder to go through. Like I could see the drop rates going through, say, hey, you get better drop rates up until you hit level 85 or something like that. This part is a lot harder to go through and distinguish. Because I remember a lot of these characters having multiple hard nodes also. And now they're down to a single hard node. So even when we had 8 and 2 hard nodes. Well, they got rid of that. And they dropped it down to 5. So you're only doing it in half the time, third of the time now.
Yeah, well, they looked
triple the time, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ketchup is a concern. They said they are looking at that, trying to maybe put more events in that reward older character shards. Again, the Galactic Bounties are a great example of that. You get some good shards out of that. It doesn't happen very often, but it's not insignificant. I think more events like that would be good. I'd like to see legacy marquee events come back. Yeah, I don't think it hurts anybody to give a 4-star Phoenix character to a newer player. You know, it doesn't have to be all the time, but kind of rotate them through like the legendary events.
Yeah. Oh yeah, say the legendary events. Well, let's think about it this way. Say a legendary event comes out, and a newer player, the first time they experience that legendary character, or that legendary character opens up for them, those characters' marquees come back for them. So if it's JTR, they're able to get Bastila Shan, Mission, Big Z, Chopper, and they're able to unlock those characters the first time that legendary character or event happens, and it allows them to either possibly start farming them, or gives them a little bit bonus of shards if they're able to get that far.
Right, because they're still going to have to farm the rest of the way, just like everybody else had to.
Correct. Yep.
So yeah, I don't see where it hurts. You'd have to throw them all out there, but a selection just to kind of start building some of these meta teams might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that would be a good way to go through and get that onboarding process and giving them a little bit of a jump up on everything.
Yeah. So we had some conversation about just the calendar. It's been kind of slim in May, and CT Carey mentioned that was kind of her fault, just the way they're scheduling everything, and they mentioned just how PvE content is just really challenging to create and balance right. If you make it too easy, it's boring and the community consumes it immediately, and if it's too hard, it's frustrating, and if the rewards are good, only the rich are getting richer off of it. They're the only ones able to beat it.
Yeah, I understand where they're coming from. That yes, PvE is very difficult, and that's why they go through and sparingly do PvE content just because of the return on investment. Part of this is also just the community in general, because it's too hard. It's too RNG based. No, it's not too RNG based. It's you trying to go through and beat the event with characters that are severely undergeared and undermodded for what was intended and for this event.
Basically get good, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I still don't know what it takes.
Let's see.
I must train harder.
You got to train harder every day.
Right.
On the calendar, they did mention that they want the community to not just look at the events tab. Having a heist or a smuggler's event or assault battle is not necessarily the entirety of the events. There's still Grand Arena. There's still territory wars going on. That is all part of the gameplay. And I'm assuming there's going to be some more content coming. They mentioned that there were some of the time-saving, quality of life things they put in. So I think soon enough we're going to be very busy in the game. There was some bad news as well in the Q&A. We got some hard no's to some answers, some questions we've been asking.
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
I'll talk about it for you. Somebody mentioned Doc Afra and the murder bots, and we kind of speculated we'd be getting those. Turns out no plans currently to. Those your hopes and dreams getting shot down.
Jerks.
So yeah, not at this time. We're going to start getting more characters, TVs and Mandalorian episode 9, but no Doc Afra for now. We also got another.
Don't mind me. I'm just starting fires.
They mentioned this before.
Just starting fires.
Just kill
Don't
all
worry.
those hopes and dreams out there.
That's right.
They got again about the mass bronzium buy. There was a no on that. Kind of the same answer we got last time. Is they want to give more valuable things to purchase with bronziums. We got a no on the sandbox mode. A lot of people have been wanting that. They did kind of give a little glimmer of hope. They said access to a beta server is a little more likely. So, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's more, like we said, return on investment. They don't go through building out a huge mode like that, in which gets them no crystal revenue. Doesn't make sense. Right.
So, people want it. I don't know how much it would be used outside of the hardcore players, some of the more hardcore theory crafters. It could be kind of confusing for new players. If you got 2 whole servers to play on, they may not know really what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's something else I wanted to talk about.
They went through and they did mention about opening up more tools to website like SWGOH. Yep. Because of the mention with Grand Arena Championships, people going through and getting incentivized to basically take their profiles off there, so you really can't see anything about your opponents other than digging archaically through the game, looking at each individual character's mods and things like that. So they're opening it up or looking at opening it up. That way you can go through, find your opponent, and be able to go through and skim their basically the data on their roster, so you can figure out what mods they have, what characters they have, what gear level they are, and come up with a game plan on how you want to go through and set your defense, what you're thinking they're going to set on defense to save for offense, and create a strategy.
Right. Kind of, again, expanding the meta to think about your teams outside of your arena team.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that means more mod tools. I mean, we really need more ways to manage that, to assign them.
I take this as a positive because when you're saying mod tools, I don't know if they're going to add it to the game, but if they open up more tools to the websites and more access, I think they'll be able to go through and better create tools to help out with mods.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's see. While we're talking about these no's, they did mention there's no plan for the challenge rewards to be updated. Maybe in the future they'll add a new tier.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Those gold eyeballs here at the end. Oh,
Yes.
I can buy and get the regular gold eyeballs, those challenge ones. Nada. Keep waiting for them. As fast as I get them, I spend them.
And they are aware that there's a large segment of the player base that has just thousands of these things. They are looking into options of having something to do with them, either it be crafting other pieces or selling pieces. I don't think we're ever going to get a situation to where we can take 10 Mark IV stun guns and make them a Mark V.
You're talking about thousands stored up old gear, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to trade this stuff in for what you want. Maybe shard shop currency, at a fairly low exchange rate, but something would be better than nothing.
I don't know, even at an extremely low exchange rate. I mean, you're going to get that huge influx at first, and then it's going to go through and die off as you go through and with gear, so it doesn't have to be extremely low. But yeah, I'm expecting some sort of shop or basically just selling again, which used to be in the game. We also got... What else did we get? Oh,
we got
ship content.
Yeah, they did say that more ship stuff is on the way. We actually got a full separate post talking about the future of ships. That's where we got the hint about the capital ships being doubly good. They said they want to, I forget what the exact phrasing was, but they wanted to show more benevolence in releasing information, but they're still under negotiations.
So that brings out right there the phrasing of that.
Yeah, General Grievous' ship is the Malevolence.
But Malevolence was also on Wikipedia that they posted was also Dooku. It's listed as Dooku and General Grievous for the Malevolence. Either way, new capital ship. And then when they mentioned currently in negotiations, General Kenobi's capital ship is the Negotiator.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they did mention about possibly 2 new capital ships, so one on each side of the new territory battle maps.
That would be cool. I would fully expect we're going to need the Galactic Republic ships for at least one of these events. They have been sitting, languishing. We're getting one as the login character. All signs point to get ready to get your Plo Koon going.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was really cool. They also did mention about actual ships itself. They said they have been, didn't get into details, but they said a possibility of a pilotless ship appearing sometime soon.
Yeah, that's good. That opens up a lot of possibilities. And we talked about this before. There's a lot of ships out there, but who would you put in the game? Just more generic pilot type characters or whatever, or ships that physically didn't have pilots, like some of the droid separatist ships.
Yeah, that was more my thought with the Vulture droids. They're a ship, but they don't really have a pilot the way the game's set up. I guess you could put B1 in there, but is that actually going to get past Lucasfilm and everything? Because
that's not canon.
Yeah, that's not canon. That's really not what happened. So I'm expecting more of the Vulture drones.
I could see that. I could see Red 5. That way they wouldn't have to put a pilot Luke in the game.
That I don't know if they would do. I think they would do, they're going to be more generic ships, mass ships, as far as that goes. Maybe a Y-wing. Things like that. Possibly getting out into the game. Yeah. It's going to be
lots of cool stuff there. They did mention a ship raid is possible, but right now they're hindered by the lack of capital ships.
Which we have mentioned.
Right.
They're hindered by the lack of ships in general.
Yeah. But they did say for the next raid, which would come months after Geonosian territory battle map, so we're looking end of the year earliest.
Yeah.
That one could possibly have a ship raid phase in it.
Which we talked about.
Which I think a lot of people... Yeah, that's been speculation for a long time, especially for like a Death Star type raid. You'd have your indoor level that's on the ground. You'd have your ship level. It almost writes itself. But looks technically possible now, so that's cool.
Now, the other thing we did get into was they went through and said there's no Grand Arena in June while they prep for Grand Arena Championship because of a conflict in algorithms between Grand Arena and Grand Arena Championships and possible bugs within it. Sounds to me, as they went through and explained more and more of this, that the month of June we're going to have Grand Arena Championship exhibition will be going on, testing out the matchmaking, testing out the tiers and everything. That seems to be my impression of why we're not having Grand Arena. It's just going to be the exhibition month for this.
Yeah, that sounds like it to me. I think there's going to be plenty to do. They did mention that the rewards that would come with Grand Arena we're going to get in other modes or methods, so we'll probably get something for this exhibition. I'm not upset about it. It's fine. But it's going to go into Grand Arena Championship. They did release another post kind of talking about how this is going to work.
Yeah. It went through 5 rounds, correct?
Yeah, it's just going to be about a month long. It'll be 5 rounds, and like we talked about last episode, it is going to be broken up into different brackets. So the higher you get placed in the more competitive brackets for higher rewards. It starts off at bronzium, goes up
carbonite.
to chromium, iridium,
carbonite. Carbonite.
Oh, it starts carbonite. Yep.
Chromium, iridium, kyber.
Right. Kyber being the highest one.
Yes.
And so you basically go through 4 Grand Arena rounds and additional feats and achievements you have to do throughout the month. And the more points you get by winning and doing these achievements, the higher level bracket you get placed in for the next Grand Arena. And I guess overall, at the end of the thing, you get rewarded based on the bracket you ended up in and your place within that.
Yeah, and we were having a discussion right before we were recording, and whether we thought this was going to carry over and basically balance itself out, because they did say the matchmaking in your tiers are based on GP going into Grand Arena, and then it starts going through by points and kind of bracketing yourself within the rounds. The higher you, as you progress up, it's basically all the winners versus the winners, and you keep climbing to get more and more points and get into that Kyber League. And we weren't sure, and we were having a debate back and forth on, once you get there after this season, month-long season, does it reset or does it carry over on what your score was and go into the next season?
Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I think the matchmaking will probably stick, but your rank will reset.
Okay. I was thinking basically it's going to be like Territory Wars, where everything resets at the end of the month. And that matchmaking is going to balance itself out towards the end of the month, in which the better players are at the very top, the guys who do win about 50% of the time. In the middle, lower end guys are going to be at the bottom, obviously, based on that GP bracket they place.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I think that's a better solution because you don't want to get in a situation where once the Kyber crew gets placed in there, it's almost impossible for anybody else to get into that without somebody quitting the game or whatever.
That he's not upsetting the Kyber crew because all the Kyber guys are just fighting each other.
Right. That's why I think the matchmaking will stay. So if you want to stay Kyber each time, you're going to have to face more and more tough competition, and that's where like the global leaderboard will come into play. So you'll have your bragging rights for that. This player reached Kyber 4 times. This player only reached it once.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How many points you got for each season? Also by creating, they have side missions and everything to be able to get more points.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be cool. I think depending on the rewards, I want them to be good, but I don't want them to be so exclusive that, again, if you're not Kyber, might as well not try.
Well, they did mention a new currency.
Yeah.
So a new store, Gear 12 plus pieces, maybe?
Let's hope so.
Characters?
Maybe.
Hey,
I could definitely see the gear going there. I could see maybe a Grand Arena exclusive character, which would be kind of, oh man, what if it's Jar Jar? What if he is in there and he's going to take all Grand Arena currency for the first year, so you can't spend it on any of these Gear 12 plus pieces?
well, they did say a hard no to Darth Jar Jar.
They did say no, he wasn't. Darth Jar Jar was
Darth
coming.
Jar Jar was a hard no.
About Jedi Jar Jar. Senator Jar Jar.
Yeah. I don't
Remember, he is a statesman. You show him the respect he deserves.
Oh, dear. I don't know.
All right, so I guess that kind of brings us into the next kind of quick discussion. With Grand Arena going away, there was a lot of backlash from content creators, because that is a lot of what the channels are now. I don't know. Do you think CG owes us content so we can make our content?
Oh, yeah, I did see them going through on this. And no, they're creating the game. We're creating our own content based on a game we enjoy playing. It's just a benefit that CG goes through and actually gives us information about it.
Right. I mean, we've gone weeks without not a whole lot to talk about. We've made it work, but we're under no false delusion that we would have a show without this game.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, you're listening to it because you like the game. And, if the Stan and Sparrow show existed prior to this, we wouldn't have any listeners. We might now, if we spun off, but it would still be based off of the community we built because of this game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I think some of the YouTube content or YouTube creators that go through, they get a little upset about it because I don't know whether it's because of their financial incentive for YouTube and everything, trying to go through and do it that way. Because of that, they're so upset that they don't have any content to create. That's not why we do it. So
that would affect me. I mean, that's, you get hit in the pocketbook. That hurts no matter who you are, and that's, I guess, where we're different. We have no financial incentive for listens or downloads or anything. We're doing the same show if one person downloads it versus 10 million. it doesn't impact anything. This isn't a business for us. It isn't a side job or anything like that. If the world changed somehow, we were able to make this a full-time job, maybe. But yeah, I'm not quitting my day job.
No, I can go through like I don't know. I have through the course of the podcast and everything, I go through and I like technology. I like having good equipment. So I spent way too much money for the podcast to go through on different equipment and making everything sound good and everything just for make personal enjoyment out of it. Because I like doing the research for it. I like making everything sound better. I like make everything enjoyable for everybody to listen. And I don't want them going through and going, oh, the audio is bad. Oh, this is bad. I'd much rather go through, figure out a way to make it as simple as possible and sound the best way possible. And I don't worry about getting money back from it. I just enjoy going through. I enjoy getting on Discord and have everybody going back and forth with us on what we talked about the week before. Hey, you should talk about this next week. That's the part I enjoy about creating this.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I love the community. I love getting on Discord and just shooting the breeze with people. And we probably talk about Star Wars maybe 30% of the time. The rest is just what's going on in life and where the rogue grocery carts are at today. It's just a ton of fun.
Yesterday was bad.
Yeah.
I sent a picture out, and it was literally, I parked my car, and this lady puts everything in her car, takes her shopping cart, puts it essentially right in front of my car, makes eye contact with me, sets it there, and walks back to her car and leaves. And I'm like, what did I just experience here?
Yeah, it's pure human evil. That's what you experienced.
Yeah, but also, so let's kind of get this back on track a little bit, since we've been talking about Discord. We did have people actually asking us some questions in here.
Yeah.
Let's get into these.
All right, yeah, the first question we got, and these came from Cotman. So, hey, Cotman, how are you? How would you rank the top 10 teams excluding Kevin and Devin? It's kind of a tough one, and I don't know how deep we're going to get into this, but kind of in the spirit of Grand Arena Championship and the meta beyond the meta, I kind of looked at teams that were going to be useful, kind of plug-and-play offensive teams that you could just use to beat that one team that's just giving you hell. And for me, I think my number one is Treya. I mean, Darth Nihilus, he's an easy button for a lot of teams.
Yep.
I think you went another way with your number one.
I went through basically on all my teams. I kind of looked at usefulness in Grand Arena and Territory Wars, and then actually included into that thought process of where else they're using the game, whether it's like galactic bounties, whether they're needed for other characters also. I did include them in there. Not so much a huge jump, but they were thoughts. So my number one, I actually have Padme in her team, just because I went up against that team and I'm like, Treya teams struggle with their JTR teams. Yep, not going to happen. CLS, not going to happen. Even a Kevin team, not going to happen. That team's very difficult to get around. That's why I put Padme as number one right now.
Yeah, it's hard for me to put her that high because the investment is huge in her. I mean, you've got to have Kenobi, you've got to have a ton of Zetas.
Hey, Kevin and Devin are 1 and 2, and their investment's a lot higher than Padme. So,
yeah,
he didn't ask if top 10 teams ROI. He just asked the top 10 teams, excluding them.
That's true.
So, what's your number 2 here?
Mine's JTR.
Okay.
Another kind of easy button team, really useful on offense, can get through a lot of teams.
All right.
Good in the raid.
Yeah,
I like her.
makes sense. I have Treya, so just a step down from you, just kind of flip flopping there. Pretty much the same reasons. The easy button, pretty much hit auto on a lot of teams outside of the top 3, 4.
Yeah. All right. And we had the same number 3.
Yeah, same number 3. We both have CLS. Just
Good character.
yeah, good character. Chewie, Raid Han, paired with him, go through. Only a handful of teams will actually go through, and you won't be able to beat offensively with CLS. On defense, he will not let you get max points, that's for sure. You put a CLS team, you are not getting your max, 64 points. You're going to have to go through, and he's probably going to take out a character or two pretty easily.
Yeah, just the sheer amount of offense and having that stun right out the gate, that's a game changer.
Yes.
Depending on the team, that can just shut them down right away. Great raid character, definitely worth having. Number 5, I'm sure my Padme landed, and looks like you had JTR there.
What are you counting here? We're at 4 here.
I can't count.
Yeah. 4 I have JTR, and you have Padme, so we just kind of flip-flopped our top 4 here.
Yeah,
and
I'll be honest with you, by the time I got to the end of my list, these may not necessarily be in my super hardcore rank, but I think we got a lot of the same teams down here. I got Night Sisters.
Kind of, sort of here. I went through here in the 5th slot. I actually have my solo team. Kira, Nest, Vandor, Chewbacca, L3.
Yeah, and looking at that, I think I would replace my 10 with that team.
Okay. And then for number 6, I actually put my Karth, Mission, Big Z, Canderous, and then, you can put T3M4 in that team. That team or Wampa is who I have with that team currently for Grand Arena. That team's very difficult to get around also, and also hits very hard.
Yeah, it is good. It didn't quite make my list, but I think if we had the top 11, it would be on there. My next up was Bounty Hunters, mostly because of the credit heist and the smuggler events.
And I have them right below my Karth team. I have Bounty Hunters just through the sheer flexibility of the Bounty Hunter squad. They have offensive team, defensive teams. They can take out a meta team also. They make a huge difference in raids, every aspect of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And my 9 was the Bastila Jedi team. There for a hot minute, that was the team.
Now, I took this team off my list. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been struggling to actually build and actually use a Bastila team right now. When I go through and actually split up my team for Jedi Knight, Revan, and Padme, it takes out and Phoenix Squad. It takes out too much of offensive firepower within my Bastila Jedi team that I can't kill anybody.
Well, I don't take Phoenix out of that team anymore. Phoenix are kind of on the bench right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I use her. I'll put in Old Ben, Kanan, which I have a Zeta on, Ezra, and then another spare Jedi, depending on what my teams are. And I usually use that team against the Karth team, just keeping all those dots off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
That's that team
the
down.
Bastila team's good. I just always seem to be lacking enough firepower when using that team to actually defeat anybody within the time period. I don't lose anybody. No one dies, but I just can't kill anybody either.
All right. And my last, I stole your idea and got my Kira Nest Vander team on there.
You're only putting them there because you don't have your Nest Gear 12, so you don't experience the joy of having that team.
And just for full disclosure, I had Imperial Troopers as my 10th. And that, I think it was because I just got Range Trooper up a little bit, and he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a fun character.
Range Trooper makes a big difference on that team. I had number 10. I have my Night Sisters.
Oh, good old Night Sisters. Remember
Yeah.
the days where we
They
would
were
just
hot garbage.
joke about Night Sisters being worth a damn?
Yeah.
And look at them now.
Oh, well, actually, no. There's more people on the list. What did we do?
Oh, the page break. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
the page break. All right.
Damn it.
So after
I
that,
actually had that team as number 9.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where my Imperial Trooper will show up.
I actually have the Palp Empire Squad. So
Oh, that's a good.
Palpatine,
That's actually that's better than Imperial Trooper. Well, I'm sorry, Imperial Troopers. You're just gonna keep dropping.
gone again. That's
Palp's
the team
actually
I
probably
have.
up a little bit further. If I had to just go in and really put this on paper.
Yeah, I have my Palp Empire team, and then my last team, for the same reason I was just listing with Bastila, I have them at number 10, just because I don't, just damage output just isn't there for that team. It is a pain in the butt to get around and is super survivable, but not enough offense for me.
My number 10, I put Rogue One. It's a useful team in territory battles, and that's an old hat now, but it's still a good team. You get Chase out there, and that's a formidable duo.
Yeah, I could see Phoenix being another team right there with Rogue One being about the same for me. Right
yeah,
outside.
there's a lot of teams that could really round out the bottom depending on kind of your play style and the amount of gear you have. Ewoks are good. First Order's good.
I was tempted to put Ewoks over Bastila, honestly. First Order is another one.
Yeah, I don't know. My Ewoks are just so single use. Like I use them against First Order, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all I use them for, too.
Yeah. All right. So number 2 question is Newt Gunray Zeta legit, or am I bonkers for even thinking that? No, it's too legit to quit, man. It's. I think it's good.
I think it's good right now. I think it's a niche Zeta to go through and counter specific teams. Do I think that might change as soon as the Geo territory battle maps come out and we get a couple more characters off that maps? Yes. So I'm kind of holding off on passing judgment yet, just because I think there's more characters that are going to round out that team.
Yeah, well, that kind of leads into question 3. What is the best Seppi team after all the reworks and releases, or should we withhold until all Clone Wars content is released? Well, there's always going to be more content coming, so we kind of got to work with what we got right now. Personally, I really like my Grievous droid team. I put a lot of work into them, so I think that's why I'm going to choose them. But that Newt Dooku Geo team is nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah, right now, I think the safest bet is actually going after General Grievous, Droideka B1, B2, and kind of holding off from there to see what the new characters from that map is going to be.
Yeah.
I don't see anything actually going into that. Even if you leave that last slot open for the Grievous squad, that does allow for any character that's on the map to fit into that team. Something's missing on the other team, and I do not think the Geonosians are the answers. I think Newt and Dooku are probably key parts of that team. The rest of the characters are going to be from the map.
Yeah, and I can see us, again, getting a generic Geonosian as a reward character and then having to use that in another mission.
Yeah. So
what's a weird... Oh.
Kind of a 50-50 answer there. You can go after one team. The rest of it, I would kind of hold off and see what characters we get.
All right. So what's a weird, underrated team you use in Grand Arena? I'll use clones every once in a while as a cleanup crew, but I wish I had like the secret
Shaak
formula
Ti?
team that was... What's that?
Shaak Ti for your clones?
As soon as she comes out, yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, as of right now, I don't have anything in Grand Arena that's like a secret ingredient. I'm kind of sticking to the tried and true teams right now.
Yeah, I've been using, which I did put in my top 10, that Karth, Mission, Big Z, Canderous, and Wampa team on defense, which people are about 50-50 on whether they go through. Did have one of our got paired up on one of my guild mates in the championship, and he basically went through and said I had to use an overpowered team on there, and even then, if I used anything less, I would have got run over. So, yeah, it's one of those teams. If you go through and underestimate that team or pick out the wrong matchup, it's like, oh, Karth, I can use CLS or something like that on there, and then Wampa's there and just wrecks all your rebels.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who is your personal favorite Star Wars characters? Why? And who you want to see added to the game? My personal favorite is Thrawn, but he is already in the game, so I'm going to say, how about Rook? Because Thrawn really needs something to make him stand out a little more. He's kind of falling behind.
Yeah. Favorite Star Wars character? I really got in with Clone Wars, so my favorite Star Wars character is really Snips. Really enjoyed her character arc within Clone Wars. And who do I want to see added to the game? With Doc Aphra and the murder bots being just completely destroyed. Let me go Pre Vizsla.
Okay, there you go.
Agile Darksaber, Mandalorian Jedi.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Go there. Goes out with the Mandalorian. Can go in there with if they do some lore or something.
Yeah, plus anytime you can get the Darksaber out,
That's right.
I'm all for it.
That leads us out of questions and into our marquee watch.
Yeah, and if you got a question, head over to our Discord, drop it in the show Q&A channel, and we will get to them.
Yeah, definitely. Marquee watch, Shaak Ti. Right now, that is the only thing on the marquee watch, and the marquee watch is waiting for that marquee date or actual date Shaak Ti goes into the game.
All right, if it is marquee, we think it is, but it's not confirmed as of yet.
Free to play watch, whatever you want to call it right now.
Upcoming character watch.
Yeah, upcoming character that will be going into a hard node at some point in time,
Right.
in which we will have to farm for months on end.
That's it. Yep.
And we'll probably have new gear that we have to go through and buy.
Speaking of buying gear, who you putting gear on right now? Who you bumping up?
Jordica.
Okay.
I am getting that team. Like I said, that's the way I go through and farm. I need to go through and get my team ready for Padme to come back. So Jordica seems to be the key. I have General Grievous bumped all the way up and completely maxed out now. So Jordica and stun guns.
Yep, gotta have them.
Did you decide someone to bump and grind on here?
I'm
Use your
still
horde of gear.
I'm kind of hoarding. I need a good fifth character for my Galactic Republic team. I'm leaning toward Barriss.
Yep.
I'm not 100%.
Do it. She's cheaper to gear up.
She is, but the reason I'm holding off is
because you're.
I want to see what the Geo Dark Side territory battle maps require. If I still got to put some more gear on Newt and Dooku
clones.
So but they won't need it for Dark Side just yet.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
And
you have them all geared up. I don't want to hear about it. You have your Geos all geared up. How close your Dooku's got to be like 10, 11?
He is. I think he's 11.
See,
it's not far, but I don't have enough to just get them all geared 12 willy nilly.
Sure.
Plan and strategize.
Strategery.
All right. That's it. So yeah, hard nodes. I'm farming gear, trying the new gear piece a little bit, but mostly stun guns.
Yeah, I'm still working on Embo, Jordica, and Range Trooper.
Oh, I tried Range Trooper in that special mission for last Darkside territory battle.
Yes.
I still haven't beat that damn thing. I got a lot further with range, but I just don't have what it takes. I must train harder.
Yeah. I haven't. I don't worry about that one. I know I'm gonna get my butt whooped. I have all pretty much gear 11 Imperial troopers and just get run over. So I just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's the only thing in the game I haven't beaten yet. So one of these days, maybe I'll put that Zeta on Probe Droid.
Or
But
maybe you
not
could just
today.
move around mods, you know. That'd probably do it.
Maybe. Cantina, I'm farming Omegas. I did get one to drop.
Whoa! One.
Yeah, I think a day or so after we recorded the show where I was talking about it, I got one. Hadn't seen one since, but I did get one.
Yeah, I'm finishing up Aura. Aura and Embo should both be done this week, so then I can move on to the Ibn Hawk and round out my hard node farms.
Yeah. Fleet is nothing, so just trying to get some gear. And how many reinforcement materials are you sitting on now? Just out of curiosity.
Reinforcement. A lot. I don't go through and upgrade my ships that much. I upgraded the ships that I use, and then I sit on them. So between that and the capital, I know I have enough to max out a new capital ship. Reinforcement bill. I have to get into the game for that. I'm obviously
Okay. I'm
B1 and going after Malik in the guild store.
Okay. Well, I'm sitting on 525 reinforcement materials right now, so that's.
I have 570.
Okay.
Like I said, I kind of hoard those very badly.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but that's really 5 ships.
Yeah.
If you do both of the things, so it's not. They're gonna go quick.
Yeah, and for the capital ship stuff, I have 2,400 right now.
Let's see.
And I'm not buying them.
Yeah, I'm not either. I am at 3,138.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about any fleet of capital ships coming.
Yeah.
Guild store, I'm saving that stuff up too. I am sitting at 35,700, so about halfway there to another character.
Yeah, stop hoarding. Spend it on gear. Get your characters up. That's how you compete in Grand Arena. You finish out your teams by gearing them and not hoarding.
I know. I got to see what the rewards are for the tiers and see if it's worth the return on investment. See how many times are we going to say that in a single show?
How many times are you going to say, well, I can't spend this gear because I have to wait for the next content to come out?
Hey, I have an ambitious 10-year plan of sitting on gear and waiting for the next thing to come out. Thank you very much.
Oh, we are hearing that. We see you spend gear for like 2 weeks after new content drops, and then it's like, I must wait for the next content to come out. I know it's coming. I cannot use my gear.
It's worked for me so far. Grand Arena Championship may change things. I
think Grand Arena is your eye opener on how that's working out right now.
Yeah, it's not very well, but that's just it though. Grand Arena, as it sits now, I don't care that much. The extra 15 pieces of salvage or whatever, I'm not going to stress out over. Now, once we get to exclusive currency and gear and all that, now we're talking. Now I'm twisting my imaginary mustache and considering what I need to do.
Oh dear, I can only imagine the memes I'm going to see in Discord of your face with a mustache getting twisted up, plotting Grand Arena.
Yes.
Just seeing Kyber in the upper corner, twisting.
I got Kyber crystals in my eyeballs.
I will get there.
Yes, very good.
Oh dear. Let's get on out of here. Let's wrap this up and call it.
Yeah, I'm sure I got something to use a carpet shampooer on right now.
Hopefully not down your pant leg.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay far away from my body as possible. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. If you have some comments or questions or want to tell us how wrong we are, get on our Discord and shoot the breeze with us. Say hi. We'd love to have you. Leave us a review on iTunes or your podcast server of choice. Helps us to grow and show up in other searches. Check us out on thealliancegaming.com with other great content creators. If so inclined, visit us at patreon.com/Cantina Vizsla. Like I mentioned, it's sitting a business for us. We have the Patreon out there. This kind of helps offset some of the server costs and a few gift cards here and there. We ain't paying no bills with this, or light bills are not getting paid with this. Let's throw that out there. But any support you can show, that we appreciate it. If not, we just love to have you listen. We'll do the show for free forever. So, and if you still email, email us at cantinavizsla@gmail.com.
Yeah. So until next time, guys. Later.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the hollow table soon.